Actually, I'll say that once I set everything up because I kind of botched it today. I always botch it. I feel like I should maybe push stream back later. But at the same time, I can't really do that because I have things to do. Um, but I had a lovely meal. Oh wow, the title for my stream doesn't fit entirely into TikTok, which is fine. I'll just it's not even a big deal. I don't think anybody can go back and see them. So it's okay. But how is everyone? And then once again, for anybody who just came in, happy Valentine's Day. And I hope it's really special for you guys. Let me know if you did anything special today. Saribot joined the chat. Beautiful. Easy! Thank you so much for coming in, and you were first. Who you care about? Got an ad. Oh no! Alright. I realized I need to turn on the music. Oh my gosh. Welcome back, Easy. How's your day? Do you have anything planned for today? For me, it's Glen Burna sweet, and then like I have a general sweet theme. I'm gonna try to be in this outfit as much as possible because I don't even have a style tab. So we're gonna see if I need it. So we need to go back to Glen Burna. No plans. Honestly, valid. Obviously, my plans are stream. I'm probably gonna. Oh, look how fast he's running. You okay, my guy? Why are you running like that? He doesn't normally run. Is he like glitched? Because normally he follows behind his mom. So today I plan to finish Glen Burna. And actually, I already have. I looked up what the how much we have left, and it should just be 2. I can't find it. Because a tranquil mirror of dawn and dusk was too much for me. So I just went with a Fantasia of endless winter, which is the next quest. Hello, I'm at work. Popping in to say hi. Well, hello. And for some reason, my voice is kind of like off. I feel like there's something in my throat. Hold on 1 second. Hello! Hello, Mikey! New version available. Click to go update. You're tricking me. Oh, wait! Thank you. Thank you. I was like, what do you want me to click? So let's go ahead and go back to Glen Burna, which I already forgot. Okay, it's there. So the Albi Moongate would probably be the quickest way to get there. I said Albi Moongate, and then yeah, I came over here. I used my squirrel. Glen Burna solo? We're gonna try. We're gonna try to get to as much of Glen Burna as we can. Oh my gosh, my... Are you excited for the Glen Burna run? I may die. I'm probably gonna die. Unless they make it easier for the first time. Which I think is valid. I don't think it's too wild to think that's what they did for Crumbass. I just realized I need to pop out the window here so I can see what everybody else is saying in my other chat. Okay. Okay, let's go through here. And go to Celeb Myth. Does this always have a name? Was this always here? Or was this, like, edited? Does this map change when you get to Glen Burna ability? Does that make sense? Because I don't even remember seeing this before. Like, Celeb Myth. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like, the world, like, breaks over here. Target is busy talking to an NPC. Celeb Myth is talking to an NPC. You see a gaping breach hanging in midair, as though the fabric of space itself has been rent asunder. Icy energies are being drawn into the rift toward whatever lies beyond. Cracks stretch out from the open center, reminding you of broken glass or a spider's web. Look down. Debris that defies classification lies scattered on the ground nearby, as if blown out with a great force from within. Everything you see lines up with how Lush described it to you. Judging by similarities between the fragments littering the ground and the yawning breach before you, you suspect that they're shattered shards from where the crack first emerged. A deathly chill, sharp enough to shear flesh from bone, emanates from the shards. Probably best not to touch them. Licking them is right out. Look around. Look around, look around. Try Model 3? Well, thank you. Wait, we are on Model 3. So let me change it to Model 2 so that you can see how that looks like, because I'm pretty sure that's what you wanted to do. Model 3 is my favorite, so I'm making that one the default. And there we go, that's Model 2. As you take in the broader scene, you notice traces of thawed soil here and there, as well as a broken stump of trees, sheared off by some unnatural force. Idly, you wonder if someone might have built a campfire here. You can see the tracks of several animals and patches of soggy earth and half-melted snow. The jumble of footprints comes from many directions, but all appear to point towards the fissure. You finished your survey of the perimeter. Head back to Lush to report what you observed. Ah! You whip your head towards the sound of the scream, heart filled with a sense of foreboding. Oh, it's what's her name? The goddess of Glenberna, I guess. Eyes covered. You have become wood to be burned. To think that would... I've become wood? You have become wood to be burned. To think that which was lacking has returned. I suppose it must be fate. As surely as winter follows and autumn heals. As you look more closely, you see a smoldering piece of firewood in the hand of what appears to be a hooded old woman. Fascinating. It seems as incomplete flame has brought new firewood in tow. Unfortunately, I can't use wood of that stock for my winter. New fallen snow is a virtuous light, fit to wash all the world clean. You've hoarded much to yourself like a greedy child. Surely it has served to safeguard your life. But even so, you will not be able to tread upon my eternal realm, noble and sublime. Truly a pity. Still, winter comes for all, even you. Sup? Hello, Sean. Nice to see you here. For a moment, light itself seems to be swallowed up, and all around you is sunken into darkness. As the light returns, you look around, but the woman who stood there moments before is gone. Go back. There is naught I would give you. A faint voice echoes from the depth of the fissure, as if carried on icy winds, but quickly dies away. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. A strange piece of firewood. A fallen unconscious person, unable to be roused. You're reminded immediately of what befell those children in Tyrconnell. It seems like you have to traverse the icy fissure if you hope to reclaim luscious firewood from the old woman. Make preparations and venture into Glenberna to seek out the firewood. Okay, it's time! Enter Glenberna and retrieve luscious firewood. Let's go! Hello, Power Bros! Nice to see you again. Okay, it seems like this breach is the only way into or out of Glenberna. Entry requirements. Cumulative level 20,000 or higher. Total Arcana level. Wait. I don't think I'm that level. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, level 35. I did reach the requirement of cumulative level. I'm leaning towards 30,000. It feels kind of crazy that I've been playing Mabby that long. Okay, so can I just enter anyway? You must be in a party of 2 or more. I must be in a party. But we can't even solo this, even if we wanted to. Happy Valentine's Day, Power Bros. Or Single Awareness Day. Personally, I don't mind either way. Okay, so I guess what we have to do is Arcana. There's no way around it. We have to Arcana. So I guess the objective would be to level up quickly. So I have 67. I don't think I have a ×2 multiplier. We don't have a ×2 multiplier. I'll be there in a bit if you need. I would love to, but I'm not... I don't think I'm the right level. But if you want, we can do some... Because I don't have the Arcana. They might let me do it once. For the first time. Don't do that. Don't spit. Okay. How quickly does it take to get only 15 levels of Arcana? If I can get Dark Diviner, I think it would go quickly. I mean Dark Diviner. Trust we can try. Okay, okay. Then let's go back. Let's go back to Lamberna. I'm not sure if they will literally let us in. Like, I'm not sure if it's physically possible, but if you say so, we can. Hello, my phone was on silent. I'm sure I'm about to get ads. Oh, well, nice to see you, Sir Alphonse. 15 levels is like 7 rebirths. Jeez Louise. That's a lot. So that means we gotta really spend a lot of time leveling up. Also, is being level 50 Arcana, not the current one. Oh, level 50 of any Arcana. Okay, okay, okay. Then yeah, I can totally do it. Because my Harmonic Saint is already maxed. Okay, I know we're gonna be separated, but I still want you to protect me anyway, Mikey. We're gonna be separated, but you have to protect me anyway. I don't care how you do it. Get it done. Just kidding. Hello, Mikey. This outfit. This outfit. I'm gonna try to get one eventually. Shoot. That's it, right? I'm sorry I look like trash. It's because my style tab wore out. Alright, we're ready. For not special one. Where is it? Oh. Normal, right? That's what you're saying we should do? Normal? Not special? Oh, the outfit, the outfit. 2 mil for the not special one. That's not bad. That's not bad. Enter Glenberna. Normal, yes. Rate the first person I see, Mikey. I'm actually jealous of Mikey. I want this outfit. I love especially the animated version is so pretty, but it's so expensive. I would honestly rate Mikey. Let me see. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Ooh, I like this moon. Go dayside. Oh, okay, okay. Hold on, I was just looking at your outfit. I believe it's like a 10 or a 9. Maybe like a 9, because I feel like the blue on their outfit is a different color on the bottom and on the top. Who is that? Oh, jeez. Okay, mana shield. Weekly Glen Burna missions, okay. Why does this remind me of, like, Avatar? Why am I losing life like crazy? Um, um. Mikey? Ayúdame. But let me go ahead and give Easy a shout out now that I'm here. Because Easy is also a streamer, actually. Mikey? Are you okay, Mikey? Okay, yeah, you're still alive. You're okay. That's that alchemy extinger. Do you float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? This person reminds me of, like, the face snatcher. That's a thing, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they talked about that, like, myth in Avatar. The Last Airbender. Okay. Thank you for the heal, Mikey. Ma'am, please step aside. You feel disoriented and are swept to another place. I am going to die. I'm 100% gonna die. Let me actually turn on my, thingamajiggy. Activate abilities. Oh! Oh, shoot! For some reason, Brackram Boost just, like, popped in right there. What is happening and why isn't that, like, working? And be ready to kill deer. Okay. This isn't bad. So I beat that quest, actually. Oh! Rude? What? Snuggly. Who are they? I need to get a good look. Stop! Can you please stop hitting me? Crisis escape. Okay. What happened? You just need to kill the deer, then you can progress the story. We can leave now. Oh, I see, I see. That was strange, okay. The link was broken. Examine the afterglow firewood. Okay. A piece of firewood that once took the form of a warm flame. Smoldering embers still glow along its cracks and crevices. Unable to use the item. Why? You can't use that while in a party? I am sorry, Mikey. I love you, but I must remove you. And then examine the wood again. The flame you discovered after your battle against Kaliach has become a piece of firewood. The flame itself has not died out. You still see it softly flicker across the surface of the wood. As the flame pulses in a gentle wave, you watch as the firewood is slowly consumed. Wait a while. A strange chill courses through you as you listen to the quiet cracks and pops of the burning wood. At last, all the wood has burned, leaving only ash and crumbled coals. You hear Lush groaning as he slowly stirs. After a few minutes, he finally opens his eyes. Lush squints at the surroundings with blurry eyes, sighing in relief. As he gently pets Arbar, who lies unmoving beside him. Who is Arbar? What? I didn't even know there was another entity here. Who's Arbar? Is that like a dog? A cat? Lush squeezed at the surrounding... Okay. Give Lush a little while to collect himself, then speak with him. I need to see what this is. Who this is. This has to be a dog, right? That's the face. Let me talk to Arbar! Okay, fine, I'll talk to you, Lush. Rebecca, Lush looks at you, his hands trembling. After Kaliach spirited me into Glen Verna, I feel as though I experienced an endless cavalcade of the bazaar. It was as though the place itself rang out with soundless screams. And yet, I heard so much. I heard the cries of humans, of animals, and some sounds I knew in my bones belonged to neither. Intermingled with those were familiar voices, those of other mountain keepers. The only one I could identify with any certainty was Bladlum, but his voice was one among a chorus. I was told to stretch out my hand, so I did. And I felt something. Instinctively, I grabbed hold. There was a faint voice bidding me farewell. Then the sound of laughter and... No. I could be well mistaken. In the state, I had no true eyes, nor ears, nor mouth. What can I trust of such sense-deprived perception? At least I pray I'm mistaken. Oh. Lush rummages through his bag and pouches, looking for something. A moment later, he produces a small piece of firewood and a chunk of ice, the size of a large fist. Ask whose firewood it is. Ask what the ice is. I'm gonna ask what the firewood is. Well, he told me to take good care of it, and there's only one reason he'd ask such a favor. I think it belongs to Arbar. He was always at his side. Did he die or something? Like, why did you... Okay. You know how to restore firewood of the soul to its original form, don't you? Could you perhaps teach me how it's done? In return, I'll give you this. He told me it's something you need. Tell him how. Remain silent. Tell him how. You recall him inadvertently awakened the unconscious girl in she and her brother at the inn in Tiercanel. Thinking back, it seemed almost as simple as starting a fire and throwing the firewood into the flames to free the soul within. Hey, Peru! You tell Lush about your experiences with the firewood in Chi. I see. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with me. Allow me to apologize for my impassioned outburst. I was impatient when I had simply waited. I'm sure you would have told me what you knew in time. But since time is of the essence here, please let me quickly tell you about the ice. Lush hands you a chunk of ice. This is the flame that Kaliach left behind. You wouldn't be wrong to think of it as a sacred flame, the one from her legend that perpetuates winter's chill as long as she has fire to feed it. Let me actually move the chat so I can actually see his face. After the soul transformed into firewood, it was though I instinctively knew. Those flames you surely saw in Glen Verna were not only the sacred flames that sustained the winds of winter, but the means through which the paradoxical flames born of firewood are sustained within that realm. I realized how strange that must sound, but my memory is surprisingly clear. I remember that I became a piece of firewood somehow, and then, when I crossed the threshold into Glen Verna, the wood became a flame. I even remember being carried out of Glen Verna in your hand. Lush pauses, and a short breath, and coughs several times, asks if he's okay. Who would remain silent when somebody's, like, choking? How are you, Peru? Happy Valentine's Day or Singles Awareness Day? Yes, I'm okay. Just a little puzzled, that's all. Now to continue. Kaliach handed the firewood that had been taken from me to Tiana, asking if it knew what must be done so that the day and night would persist. The deer, seeming to understand what she meant, took the firewood and disappeared. I would? That's rude, Becca. What? What? What, Mikey? I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said. Let them choke in peace. I don't even remember what I said. Oh, I remember. Because I was like, who would just remain silent when somebody's like joking? Mikey! Okay, I understand now. And now I'll ask permission. As I followed Kaliach through the flames, I found in my possession that chunk of ice and Avar's firewood. And the next thing I knew, you were there, fighting against Kaliach. And then I passed out from flame back into firewood once more. That's all I can recall of what I experienced. While I tried to wake Avar up, you should take a closer look at that chunk of ice. You received ice-bound flame from Lush. I'm not gonna read all that. Let's see. Oh. This is not the the ice crap. A closer look at that chunk of ice encasing the flame reveals that, just as Lush said, something that looks like a flame frozen in place is flickering within. However, an accumulation of dust and scratches on the surface of the ice partially obscures your view. Scrape out the outermost layer of the ice should make it easier to get a clear look at the flame. Scrape some off. What will you use to scrape the ice? Uncomfortable gathering knife. I'm gonna use one of these gathering knives. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna risk something. Can I use any of these? Heavy punch gathering knife. I'm gonna use a gathering knife. Use Brio. Use Brionic. You're not tricking me, right? Like, I'm not gonna lose Brionic. Okay, I'm gonna use Brionic. When it comes to cutting even the most resilient things down to size, you can think of no finer blade in your possession than the legendary Brionic. You carefully draw the Brionic flamed sword of the god from your bag and begin shaving down the surface of the chunked ice. If it were really me, I would have just used a gathering knife, or maybe at most a sword, like a dagger. I feel like Brionic is giant. Like, if I'm cutting something small in my hands, I'm not going to use a giant sword. I said that as a joke. No! Well, at least Brionic won't break. You carefully draw Brionic, flame sword of the gods, from your bag and begin shaving down the surface of chunk ice. Okay, I was scared with the ... You carefully shave off the outer surface of the ice with a sharp blade. Uh-oh. No, I can't. Okay. As long as... I just hope I don't lose Brionic. The edge of the blade has become stuck on the icy knot. It looks like the mingling of dust and water formed an area that's harder than the surrounding ice. How will you handle it? A gentle touch. More force? Are you insane? No, a gentle touch. You apply a light hand, attempting to work the edge through the troublesome patch. But the knot of ice seems determined not to let the blade through. It appears you need to employ more force. You're not going to let some chunk of ice get the better of you. You bear down the handle, putting your weight behind the blade. No. Flame and kindling both shall you share, but let there be only one firewood, that it may remain hidden. What? You could swear you heard a strange voice emanating from the ice as you scraped its surface. Don't worry, you would never lose it. It would be unfair to the other players. Right. Like, that is horrifying, the idea. And thank you so much for the follow, Tabitha. It would be horrible. Like, downright horrible. If we lost the Brionic over something like this. The snow, and the thing is, it kind of makes sense that it would break, because at this point in time, you can use, like, Demi. You know what I mean? Like, Demi takes the place of Brionic. Well, no, because in G11, because you could technically go through this entire game without ever doing the story quest. So then you could never waste your Brionic. Like, you don't need the... Like, you may never get Demi. If that makes sense. But then you wouldn't have the Brionic for this. So, I don't know. The snow is not so easily fooled in the eyes of... It is as clear as the trail of starlit rowan berries, dotting a world of white. Even should an opportunity arise, it would be but a single chance. I shall choose one who might seize the opportunity and bestow upon them the firewood. Consider it my who have tended. You strain to hear as the voice fades away. Only catch a few intermittent words. Scrape off the ice. Stop scraping. I'm gonna scrape off the ice. You cannot stop now. Not if you wish to examine the flame embedded in the ice more closely. Scrape off the remaining ice. Where am I going? Oh, okay. I was thinking like maybe there was something going on the screen. Time flows ever onward. Nothing remains unchanging. Even the longest winter must never give way at last to spring. Dear children, 'tis our job to spin upon the wheels, to burn away the old as we fashion new. But this time, its themes shall be the last. No more must you gather, no more must you burn, for the wheel has finally turned its course. Our accord of them shall be annulled as well. No longer will we labor together, this our wheel to spin. I have told them that would be required in honor of our oaths. Now let us set out and be on our way. The sound gradually fades, accompanied by the deer snorts and grunts. I want to kiss the deer. They're so cute. It is strange, hearing my words given through throat and tongue. Nevertheless, the sound of this voice ringing within the ear serves proof that for the spoken ones, who would read the coming and goings of the wind, who would change the very color of the earth. Letter and word are the tools with which they record what is past, that it may ever be with them. To be always known, to be never forgotten, is to be eternal. Their speech I mastered, so too their concepts and ideas, and with these things did I define myself. Little pieces, motes and mites, fragments of histories unknown, pruned away, or simply come to naught. Chorus upon chorus of voices have spoken and fallen silent, word upon word recorded and lost, but deeper than the expression lies the root, a belief, faith. I had to grasp it at any cost, before the faintest traces of my existence vanished. In the place where the foothills rise to the peaks mankind call the Morn Mountains, where the water rushes through the canyon they call Moonhide Gorge, I have made myself as one who gathers firewood and burns it to call forth the winter. For a faded glory long forgotten, for a moment of brilliance that will last in eternity. I absolutely hate that they put the announcement here. What on earth? I'm trying to have a moment. For a faded glory long forgotten, for a moment of brilliance that will last in eternity. I'm sure there was a flame around here. The sound of snow losing its shape, crunching beneath footfalls, seems to grow louder. Look at my screen! Why is it like this? Okay. Lush! What in the...
Trick or treat.
Thank you so much for the candy. You peer towards where Lush is looking. I see. And I understand. So go lives of they who are preyed upon. Oh, there's a creature. Oh no. It must have been a meager sort of life, unable to graze or lap up water without caution. Eyes wide with fear. Ears straining to catch the slightest sound that a predator may lurk nearby. An entire existence focused purely on surviving to see the next day. Dear children, I shall extend the hand of deliverance. No longer shall you cower as the hunted. You shall become the hunter, strong
Trick or
and
treat.
fierce. Thank you so
Trick
much
or
for
treat.
thank you so much for the candy.
Trick
What
or
say you?
treat.
Will you follow me?
Trick or treat.
What is this? Whoa!
Trick or treat.
So she can just like make small
Trick or
creatures
treat.
into big ones. Thank you so much for the candy. I love it.
Trick or
Are
treat.
you giving me a Valentine's Day gift? Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I should change it to like
Trick or
something
treat.
like Valentine-y. Let me change it back to
Trick
Model
or
3, my
treat.
favorite model. Oh my gosh.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
My Cortana is like trying to trigger.
Trick or
Thank you so much
treat.
for the candy. Thank you so much for the candy. Go now and head to your new home. Your new body may still feel unfamiliar, but you shall grow accustomed to it in time. I love her. I'm vibing with her. Yes, save the creatures. Who is next? Ah, you, I see. And thank you so much for the like, Khalid. Have you lost your precious mother? Your precious master? What would you have now? A warm hearth? A new master? Is there aught you desire? A keener nose, the better to smell with? I see. You still seek your lost master, then. I shall grant your wish. Ooh. No longer will you have to roam the icy wastes. Your new home awaits. There. You will catch the scent of your master from afar. See, like, she's good. She's not a bad person. I'm gonna stop here. Well, thank you so much for the Valentine's candy. I love it. I think there was like some Snickers and stuff in there. I like Snickers. Kit Kats. Now that we've gathered enough souls aflame, we require those who reside within the fissure and serve as its defenders. Yet we still lack for firewood. We cannot face that is spreading amongst the people of the land. Thus we must prepare. Besides, we are being watched. To become a new wood for the fire. Already, firewood belonging to another. We cannot use it. But this must not become known to the outside. Go, my child. Happy Valentine's Day, and I hope you had a lovely day. You too, Khalid. I hope it is filled with happiness and joy. But this must not become known to the outside. Go, my child. I like Kaliach. I'm totally vibing with a lot of the goddesses in this game. I thought Morgan would always be my favorite, and then Amarik appeared, and then now Kaliach. They're pretty solid. I think like the only one I'm not really vibing with is Imemaka, the red one. Like she's pretty, but she's mean. The memory sealed within the ice seemed to end here. You feel something cold roll down the back of your hand as the surrounding melt away. Mission clear. A grasp within the ice. I actually didn't know there was a quest after this. Cold burning flame. So let's see what's next. I thought that was it. Chronicle mission. Glenburna. Okay. This mission... Oh, a Fantasia of Endless Winter. Okay, okay. Talk to Lush. Let me, mark this. This is the quest that the title is after, named after. Mako only wants destruction. Of course she's gonna be mean. I mean, valid. Like, I'm not mad at her. I don't hate her. I just don't like her. If that makes sense. Where's Lush? Oh, there he is. Like, I don't like her. But I don't hate her, you know? Like, she can stay in her own lane. I just felt like she was mean for no reason. Like, people like Morgan, at least when she had her vicious moments, there was a purpose. With, even Nadab, I actually don't like him. I don't like him at all. Because he, like, took advantage of us, in a way. I like Morgan, I like Hammerich, because Hammerich just wanted, like, people to grow better. Like, her objective, my day was alright, got a replacement sword. Yes! One that's more heavy duty, that won't break. So, like, Hammerich, she just wanted people, humans, to rise above. To be stronger through their adversity. But then, she realized that what she wanted wasn't being accomplished, so she decided to step down. I think, like, that's valuable. Like, I think she realized that she was wrong on how to carry things out, and then learned from her mistake and moves on. Morrigan, too, I mean, like, she's love, she's life. And then Kaliach is not bad at all. She's an animal lover. Halfway to 1,000 likes? My arm is cramping. Wow, I didn't even realize I was that close. Honestly, I'm looking a lot at like average viewers. So that's like what I normally look at. I'm not sure if likes help. I'm not sure. I'm still very new to TikTok. Thank you, Pedro. Um, yes. So let me talk to Lush. Oh, as you draw nearer, a pale green gaze, reminiscent of moss or lichen, falls upon you. To your advice, I managed to waken Abor. He was still groggy and went back to sleep not long after he woke up, probably from fatigue. Looking at his eyes, though, at least I know he's back with us. There's something that's been bothering me. I need to tell it to you straight. I don't know if it'll help either, but I'm gonna spam them. Oh my goodness, thank you. Wait, so you can like it multiple times? Like, I really don't know how this works. But thank you, I appreciate it. If that's the case, then thank you. There's something that's been bothering me. I need to tell it to you straight. I want to apologize to you. I need to. From the beginning, I went on and on about a fair deal. Every step of the way. You've been the one doing most of the work. You wouldn't have needed to rush into Glenburna had I not been imperiled. You almost... No. I think it's fair to say you did go through a great deal of trouble. I'm truly sorry for everything. I swear to you, I'll repay this debt no matter what. Only after several profuse apologies does he notice that the chunk of ice has been cracked open. His eyes widen at the sight. You know, I love Lush. You know, like he's... I'm gonna just leave it there. He's very soft. I love soft personalities. You know, with all that's happened, I almost forgot the search that started this entire foray. Did the ice hold what you were looking for? Nod in agreement. You nod, holding up the cold, burning flame for Lush to see. Extraordinary. I would never have believed it had I not seen it with my own eyes. To think, the legends were true after all. It's something that, by all rights, shouldn't be able to exist. Like alcohol that sharpens the senses, or a poisonous mushroom stew that neutralizes toxins when eaten. At any rate, I'm relieved to see that you found what you've come all the way in search of, and that in some way I was able to help you find it. Honestly, it is a fair deal because we did agree. You know, like we did agree. So I accomplished what I said I was going to do for him, and then he accomplished what he said he was going to do for me. So it is fair. All mage, then just FF? What is that? I like your skill tab. Thank you. Thank you so much. My hotkeys were made with love. All mage, so final hit. Yeah. I mean, that's all you need at the end of the day. Oh, I'm not trying to keep up bringing our agreement. At least not intentionally. Though I'm certainly open to further discussing it. But anyway, Lush looks towards the great breach that seems to hang in midair, serving the entrance to the fissure. Oh no! Well, thank you so much for the likes. I do appreciate it. Lush looks towards the great breach, and that seems to hang in midair, serving as the entrance to the fissure. I know your battle must have left you cold and tired, but it would be up to our benefit to examine this area right away. Kaliach is using bodies and souls of Silam Mis to create the beings that populate Glenburna. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I even witnessed it happening myself. Just to be safe, we should block access to the area as much as possible, so no people or animals wander near here. Then we can begin looking into whether there's a way to seal off Glenburna completely. What's the issue? Because, like, the rabbit was going to die anyway, so why not rescue it? I'm confused at what the issue is. Lumina, the flame of the ice-born reverie. I know that's not Luminasi, but she's very pretty. How does that sound? Investigate. With safety being paramount, it seems sensible to follow Lush's suggestion and commence the investigation without delay. I'm sorry. I don't know what... Is that not commerce? It looks like commerce. Is commence and commerce the same word? You nod, agreeing in Lush's proposal. I'm like, I honestly don't know how to read. Thank you for being so understanding. Now, let's get right to it. Don't let your guard down. I'm quite fond of Lush. Like, I didn't know I would like Merlin. What is Merlin doing here? Yes, I do. But that's not how you say it. I do. Hablo inglés, but that's not how you spell it. But I appreciate it. I do speak Spanish and English, so inglés is English. And then Espanol, I also speak Spanish. With the shirt wide open and his sleeves rolled up, he exudes a devil-may-care. Oh, I'm not gonna read that. It always says, "Wait, I need to mute it. I need to mute it." Remember, when Merlin is on the screen, I get when Merlin is on the screen, and then I try to upload the video. It's terrible because for some reason Merlin's music is copyrighted, so they'll copyright strike just Merlin videos. Merlin shakes the dust off his hands, folding his arms across his chest. It brings you comfort to see a friendly, confident face in a place so remote. Yo, looks like you got yourself caught up in this mess too, huh? But before danger could so much as throw a mean right hook, the great Merlin has solved the case. Merlin beams with self-assurance as he helps you brush off the snow. Anyway, looks like you got someone weird in tow again. How do you keep finding these people? I don't know, Merlin. Someone weird? Are you referring to me? I've never really considered myself as weird. I've dressed suitably for the environment and my occupation. And besides, I'm here with her, someone most people seem to trust. I speak Arabic, took Spanish and English. Oh, Arabic and English. Took Spanish in college to fix my GPA. LOL and valid. I tried to learn Arabic. So I was like on Modly. And then you can actually see that I studied Arabic for a while. But I failed because I cannot read that script. And it's so hard for me. I don't know why. Like for me, like to learn Hangul is easier. And then to learn hiragana is easier. Weird is just spicy normal. Valid. That is like the best way to talk about weird as spicy normal. It's like a shiny. Shiny in Pokemon or a lucky in Power World. Weird is not necessarily bad, and sometimes it's ideal. I do have a few questions for you though. Even I can tell you're a wizard of no mean skill. You're a wizard of no mean skill? What does that mean? Why did he say it like that? But seeing as you're wandering around a labyrinthine mountain range with no map or guide and seem to have appeared out of nowhere, I'm suspicious you're not altogether human. Well, dang. Why do you say it like that? Yes, he's definitely my friend. He's a druid. Unless you're like Kaliach disguised as Merlin, because that would be wild. But yes, a trustworthy colleague. You tell Lush that Merlin is a trusted friend who has seen you through many hardships. He really has. All the way up to Gen 22, like, my guy was there. Like, I was suspicious of him. Like, I think even in, like, Apocalypse, I was suspicious. But honestly, he served me not wrong. No, it was Divine Knights that I was suspicious of him. But in Saga, he's been good. In Divine Knight, he's been good. And Apocalypse, he's been good. Weird. Okay, Merlin sounds like a fish name. It is. It is. Nemo's dad. But Merlin is also a knight of the round table. And then we also have Altum, a divine knight. This is Altum, who is Arthur, King Arthur. But it's like just borrowing the name. Yes, I forgot that guy's name. Yes, you're talking about Merlin. Calling Merlin weak. No, Merlin is strong. There is no way Lush is going to insult Merlin. He's really strong. You tell Lush that Merlin is a trusted friend who has seen you through many hardships. A trusted friend? That guy? Lush seems to have difficulty believing it, but nods his head in understanding. Well, whatever you say. As long as he really is someone you know, I'll trust your judgment. Eef, your pal here is really a cautious sort. Is there something inherently suspicious about me? Yeah, there is. There is, Merlin. You came out of nowhere. Nah, couldn't be me. Anyway, moving on. I'm curious about this guy. You can call me Lush. Gotcha. Just glad I don't have to spell it. Merlin! Merlin! Just glad I don't have to spell it. So, weird question to start with, but have you, by any chance, come to a sudden realization about something you never knew before? How did you... Who is this man? There's always a way to know the unknown. So you could even do that with it. Neat. To be specific, it's not that I erased or covered up. It was actually frozen, making it inaccessible to conscious thought. I guess the ice was a medium for the magic, so breaking that broke the spell too. Sooner or later, your consciousness will naturally comprehend it, and once it does, you'll remember more of what was lost. It'll take a while to melt though. Like ice melts slowly in spring sunshine, and even if it seems like it'll never melt completely, do not worry. Is he really Merlin? He's kind of sounding like, bro, you look kind of sussy. Savage Merlin. Yeah, he is kind of savage. The year moves. He's talking like Kaliach, which is making me so suspicious right now. And then it's horrible because I believed in Merlin. So I didn't believe in him. Okay, so I believed in him in Saga. I believed that he was a good guy in Saga. Then in Divine Knights, I believed he was good anyway, but I was hesitant to talk about the Divine Knights with him because Divine Knights are a secret. And then in Apocalypse, I fully trusted him. I was like ready to go. And then if he betrays me now, I'm gonna be so mad. Like if he ends up being Kaliach, his grandma. I mean, he could be disguised, but like okay, but he's talking like Kaliach, and I'm not really vibing with that. The year moves in its cycle, and summer always follows spring. The master of summer isn't just gonna let traces of winter linger like that. Lush is like, what are you talking about? Is that true? Of course, these things only flow a single direction. Anyway, I guess that's one question down. No worries, I've got time, so go on. Ask about whatever's on your mind. I bet you're curious about what that thing is, right? You know about this place? I'm not very interested. Who would say that? You know about this place? Merlin shrugs, smiling all the while. Of course I do. And I'll tell you all about it, since you're a true blue friend I trust. She really didn't skimp even on the smallest details. It's so convincing that most wouldn't think to question it, blurred just enough around the edges to trick all but the keenest senses. And if she was against anyone else, that might be enough. Is Merlin and Kaliach related? Like, are they related? Like, I'm confused why he's talking like her, and then why he's here and how he found it so quickly. So we know he is a druid. Okay, let me not try to like think ahead. Okay, too bad she ended up catching the attention of the great Merlin. I saw right through it. Of course, and I'm willing to spill all the secrets. Come on, ask me anything. Firewood and Embers, Glenberna, Kaliach, Kaliach. You think of Kaliach, the master of Glenberna, and the root of the problems plaguing the region. You ask Merlin to tell you more about Kaliach. Kaliach? Well, I think our friend could have probably given us a better rundown. Me? Well, what I can tell you about Kaliach we encountered is something different from the Kaliach I'm familiar with from the old legends. Long ago, our ancestors used to help Kaliach gather firewood, look after the mountains, and keep an eye on the world of man so that no harm would come to Kaliach's children, animals like deer and such. Apparently, they even stood in the presence of the god of northern winds herself. That's why the mountain keepers around here grow up learning about Kaliach and what she looks like. If we should ever encounter her in our wanderings through the mountains, we want to show the proper veneration and respect she's due. But the Kaliach I met was entirely different from what I understand her to be like. At least, none of the stories I knew portrayed her as a creepy looking figure. He just called her creepy. Bro! Kaliach. Wait, y'all keep telling me different ways to pronounce this. Kaliak? I definitely like Kaliach a lot better than Kaliak. Kaliak? Like Kaliak? Kaliak? Well, you heard it from the man himself. Whoever or whatever is claiming to be Kalyak, they ain't the genuine article. And the faint energy I feel here is very similar to what I felt to the east. My speculation is that she's either the successor of the former god, or that she took the original Kalyak, Kalyak power somehow. Yak, like the of oxen yak, the goddess of calorie. Calorie. I would honestly, calorie is kind of. It sounds like a cute name. I won't even lie. Calorie sounds cute. I like the name calorie. If I didn't know what a calorie was, I would probably name my child calorie. Gaelic for old woman. Yak. Yakety yak. Power like that is rarely inherent to the being. It can be taken forcefully or passed on to someone else. In many cases, it can simply dissipate. You've probably seen it happen a few times or even experienced it yourself. Yeah, because I am Demi, so I did receive some power from Nadab. Merlin's explanation brings to mind what yeah did to Niaham. Looks like you got the general idea. Then I guess that's about sums it up regarding Kalyak. Come on, don't be shy. This is prime Q&A time. Glen Berna. I'm gonna say firewood in numbers now. Lush told you about that he became a piece of firewood outside of Glen Berna, but existed as a flame within it. You don't really understand how that works or why, so you ask Merlin to explain the relationship between this firewood and the flame. Uh-huh. Yeah. That's actually one of those things I mentioned, where her world is blurred around the edges. I mean, it doesn't take a detective to tell you that place is miles away from normal, right? What she did is she warped the space itself to look like what's inside is completely different place from what's outside. That helps to minimize the paradoxes caused by her altered reality, ignoring the original characteristics of the area or general principles of cause and effect. That is a wild way to talk about that. So if a piece of firewood from outside becomes a flame once it crosses into Glen Berna, what fills the role of firewood inside? Care to guess? Mr. Kindling? Mr. Kindling? They hate each other. They don't like each other. Kaliach and what's his name? Lush. Lush and Merlin. They're not fans of each other. Well, if I were her, I would likely turn an eye toward whatever is the most useless of, or present an active threat to Glenberna. Burning them away would provide warmth and eliminate that which is undesirable. No one likes Merlin. That's why he's good. You're right. I don't know who likes this guy. Scarlet? That's her name, right? I forgot. Her name is Scarlet, right? Starlet. It's Starlet. Can't even find her. There, her. She's Starlet, right? And Treasure Hunter is kind of like Merlin. That's it. Wait, does Tarlock like Merlin? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. No one uses Merlin but PvP noobs. How dare. Well, if I were her, I would turn. Okay, yeah. What would seem to fit the framework of paradoxes you've described? Merlin gives Lush a vigorous nod. I don't know why he can curse, but not us. It is kind of wild. I think they did change the quality of life a little bit, so no, we still can't even say words like fuck, but he can say that? Okay. My explanation was so good that even a guy who literally just heard about all of this is now showing signs he's got it down cold. Man, sometimes I amaze myself. She probably accounted for any case where someone would randomly wander in looking for firewood and remove it from the bounded space. I'm not sure how likely that is, but if it does happen, there's no real downside for her. It's firewood she needs, not the byproduct. Come on, don't be shy. This is prime Q&A session. Glen Berna. What censor? Oh, like a bunch of words are censored. Like we can't even type like suck and swap. Like, you know? But Merlin can curse. Which is wild to me. I don't know why Mavi did that. I don't see that. I'll show you. You recall the frozen lake from Glenberna, that scattered shards lying strewn near the entrance. You ask Merlin about Glenberna. Glenberna? That's the name of the space in the gap between the barriers. There was never really a proper term for something like that before now, but that's what we've taken to calling it. It means something like the Valley of Breach in the old tongue. I'm not entirely clear of the specifics, but those kinds of fissures have appeared and disappeared before. Or perhaps it's more accurate to say that they were filled in. The reason I've happened here is because she failed to do what she was trying to do. So the fact that we're standing here having this conversation means that she'll eventually have some success, right? But but that made me wonder, why would she expend so much power to create these pockets between the barriers? It's because of the restrictions she is operating under. Merlin looks towards the breach, sighing heavily. I keep thinking, what kind of nutcase would erect a magical barrier literally right next to another magical barrier? Because it's the only way she can do what she wants to do. It's the only answer that made sense. See what you're doing? See what you've got two barriers right next to each other and they've got similar properties. You run the risk of problems happening because of all their resonance. I don't see that. I wonder why. You're making me laugh, Mikey. Yeesh. How did something like this happen in the first place? Wait, are you saying we need to destroy the barrier? We can just wait it out. It'll disappear on its own time. That's how it was made to begin with. At this point, it's honestly more dangerous to force things into the fissure, so try not to do anything that could widen it or cause some other issue. Best to just bide our time and bide our time, lie in wait. You guys know Sonic Underground? Bide your time, lie in wait. I forgot exactly what the but it's like Sonic Underground, Sonic Underground. I long for my children, but I have to wait. Merlin, flip your hair one more time. Yeah, he's about to. There he goes. There he goes. Hello, hello, Holy Lou. I'll give Holy Lou a shout out. Happy Valentine's Day. How are you? How is it? How's it going so far? Oh shoot, I'm giggling too much. I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm having a good day. How are you? How's it going? Any plans?
Trick or treat.
Thank you so much for the candy. At this point, it's honestly more dangerous. Okay, I already read that. But now that we're on topic, I should probably look into how to mend that crack, huh? Anyway, what about we say we get the investigation rolling? Wait, investigate. With me here, we should have done this and dusted in no time. Heck, maybe we might make it back before dinner. Let's see. And just relaxing today. Gonna be watching you while I make some dinner, then do my workout. Ayy, enjoy your meal. And I'm also lurking. I'm also having fun. Have a good one. I'm not lurking. What am I saying? I'm also relaxing. That's what I was saying. Hypothetically speaking, you'd have to venture inside, then shake up the order of that space to break up whatever it's composed of. In theory, this should destabilize its balance. Thank you. It seems like that already happened, though. Not that I'm complaining. That means less work for me. The more delicate and complex the system, the more likely that one missing or broken component will throw the entire thing into disarray. Always, Lurk. Thank you. Merlin inspects the site near the breach, examining the fractured shards from the barrier. Doesn't look like the doesn't look like blocking from the outside will work. We still need to be able to go in there and bring out the firewood somehow. The winter has to repeat its cycle, so blocking it from the inside won't work either. It seems like we have much to consider then. Of course we do, but the great Merlin's got everything well in hand. As you'd expect, I did a little preparation beforehand, since the place had been giving off some vibes that piqued my interest. I want to squish Merlin's face. It's looking very squishable right now. Well, there is one thing I couldn't find. I thought for sure I wouldn't have too much trouble getting these, given the season, so I pushed visiting the farms back a bit on my to-do list. But when I got there, guess what? None of the farmers had a single sheaf of grain left from their last harvest. We? Are you talking about? Apparently, someone got there before me and laid claim to all of them. Oh, for the clothes that beat the winter. Merlin looks towards Lush. I wonder who else had an interest in such a specific thing that would have almost no value to most people. No, he's like, oh, dang. But now I see they're being put to good use. I was fretting that someone might have just fed them all to their livestock. I'm sorry? Nothing to be sorry about, pal. Looks like you borrowed the know-how from the old druid. You can tell that much just by looking at me. That's impressive, and I'm over here singing. Now, this is what I was told, so I can't say how much is true, but a lot of things we mountain keepers use to carry out our work were originally created with the wisdom of the druids. That's how I avoided catching so much of a sniffle while I was laying unconscious on the frozen earth. I told her to bundle up or wear a robe, but having. Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to be wearing a robe. He's mad at me. But having these sheaves gives me all the warmth I need. In the warning days of the fall, before winter chill sets in, I head into the lowlands to the last farm or two, where the farmers are still gathering their harvests and get them for a small markup. Right, they symbolize the end of fall and the onset of winter, and that's why I needed them. I've gone everywhere I could think of that has farms from Tir Kanal to Taitan. Oh no. And the magic to work. I gotta use the real deal, and it looks like you have some left over. They still got the energy, right? How do you even know that? But you're right. I wasn't able to head back to my hideaway, so I've been carrying them with me. And you didn't even offer me to use them for my clothes? Lush hands Merlin a small sheaf of wheat. Merlin shakes his head, staring at the bundle of grain. Well, dang. To think I'd get to try out one of these old magics. I really must have been building up my karma. Let's say. So I separate. Let's see. Oh, let's see. So I separate separate them like this. Then I make a knot there. Merlin puts out a small base figure and begins tying the stalks of wheat to it. He's fluctuating between having fingers and not. After a while, he looks at you and Lush, a self-satisfied grin plastered on his face. With an exaggerated flourish, he holds out his handiwork. Is this some sort of doll? Of course it's a doll, and it's a real beaut if I say so myself. Lush. You provided the materials, but I made it into this. So the obvious question is, who does it actually belong to now? What are you... Don't tell me. Are you going to use that to do what I think you're going to do? Well, it's only because the barrier is weak. If she'd managed to gather up all the firewood, it'd be a different story. She's done us a real solid by going in and shaking up the entire place. Now it's a weird world of all full of paradoxes, a space that would never be able to exist outside the fissure. That a huge mess is there, really. On top of that, something key to functioning was removed, so the instability must be off the charts. He even sent her power out somewhere well outside her domain to get back what was taken from her. And I'm betting she used up a lot of energy doing that. To be more precise, I was the one who had something taken from me. The sheaves I carry are connected to the idea of embracing winter and the serving of the Lord of Snow. It's said that long ago the eldest mountain keeper served Kaliak, and each autumn would gather sheaves from the last harvest of the year. Because of that, the flames from the Battle of Magtutter never touched the snow-capped mountains, nor any of the calamities that had befallen the land in most recent times. So in the end, I suppose it comes down to the matter of perspective, knowing that who would you say this doll belongs to? Goodness gracious. This is such a philosophical question. I didn't even know what he was saying. I just read it and moved on. And now they're asking me to pick who the object belongs to, Merlin or Lush. Blep. Hello. Nice to see you, Jedediah. I don't know who this belongs to. Um, so it's either I would say Merlin. It belongs to Merlin because Lush actually gave the item to Merlin, not to borrow, but to have. So that means it belongs to Merlin now, and it was Merlin's master prize. Thank you so much for the hydrates. Goodness gracious, are you Rain? Now that I'm thinking about it, totally not. My bad. Totally incorrect. Knowing that, who is, you say this, it belongs to Merlin. Who's Rain? I don't know. I don't know. It belongs to Merlin. Since Merlin is the one who made the doll, it seems like he would be the proper owner. I may have handed over the wheat, but I never said I was giving it to you. Well, dang. As a gift or otherwise, I would say I'm still the owner, at least in part. After giving it more pot, you would say, Lush, you are not the owner. That guy sounds fun. Which one, Lush or Merlin? Because they're being goofy right now. But Merlin made it, so it's not Lush. I'm sorry, Lush, it's not yours. Since Merlin made the doll and Lush provided the materials needed to make it, you don't think either of them would rightly be the sole owner. Hearing your answer, Merlin nods, seeming satisfied with your reasoning. Sweet. Now we've got the last step. Here, hold on to this. I'll set up a campfire. The temperature's really dropping out here. Who's cold? Nobody's cold. I'm even wearing less clothes than you guys. And I'm not cold. Before you realize it, Merlin thrusts the folksy doll or whatever it is into your hands. Practically a masterpiece, I'd say. Just like the one who made it. Bruh. Merlin. Guess at the end of that, man, to think all the work I put into this, all to have it come down to a straightforward solution in the end. That guy sure is knowledgeable about the local traditions. Exactly what you'd expect from the mountain keepers. Just between you and me, though. I'm not sure he's got the hang of all the druid craft yet. Merlin glances towards where Lush is for a moment, lowering his voice. Unfortunately. But have you played Mabinogi, Jedediah? Is this your first time seeing it? Unfortunately, getting there again and grabbing more firewood won't be much easier than your last trip. Since it's the root of the power the space is using to manifest itself, it's likely to be in the deepest part of the fissure. And you can be sure she'll do everything in her power to stop you from taking it. My guess is that intruders are turned into firewood, and we definitely don't want that happening to you. Sigh, so much work to do, and the pile never seems to get any smaller. I can't believe I read sigh when I was supposed to sigh. Does it? Anyway, you know what you gotta do, right? Why is it so cold out here? You're the one. Merlin shivers while giving you a sly wink. What's this doll look like? I want to see. I can't even see it. Because the window is. This is a doll? Thank you so much for the hydrate. Yeah, Rain is a fun guy. He makes awesome music. Actually, I don't know if it's a he now that I'm thinking about it. He or she or they or it. Or just kidding, I don't know if it's it. Who am I supposed to talk to right now? What am I doing? Oh, they want me to use this. That's the only possible. A strange looking doll made by Merlin with a straw Lush gathered from the last harvest. To call it a doll is being generous. You don't think most little girls would love it. Well, dang. Just roast Merlin's candy craft like that. Okay. So they want me to go in. Why do they get to chill by the fire and they're not even coming in with me? Do they want me to enter Glenberna? I don't know what to do. Do I drop it? No, I don't drop it. They don't let me talk to them? Yeah, these are not talkable people. The item is not usable. I have no skill, do I? Hold on. Let me check if I have a skill. No, I only have combat mastery. I'm missing something. Like, the only possible solution I have is to enter Glenberna or do something with this doll. I'm even clicking control to see if there's, like, something I'm supposed to be clicking. Am I missing something? What am I missing? I don't even have to sit. Like, I can't sit down right now. So I can't even do anything by the fire. Oh! Do you wish to burn the harvest doll when performing the enchantment of an item that one you receive? Yeah, burn. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Yeah, they don't talk. I'm supposed to burn it. You drop the doll Merlin gave you into the blazing campfire. The dried stalks of wheat quickly catch fire, and you watch as the doll quickly burns to ashes. Merlin nods as the remaining cinders are borne aloft by the heat, then carried away on the winter wind. It may not amount to much more than a stopgap measure, but it is the surest way. Phew! Great work, me. Now I can finally. Wait, no. I still have those 5 other things I said I'd look into, huh? How did my life get to this? Merlin sighs, rolling his eyes in a comical, exaggerated expression. Merlin's really too much. I've got a long list of places clamoring for the great Merlin's help, you know. Thankfully, I get to cross this one off my list. My work here is done. I wish we run into each other when I had a little more free time on my hands, but ain't much I can do about that now. Maybe next time. I set up my local enchantment that'll alert me if something happens here. So you don't need to worry too much, probably. Understood, and thank you. In my heart of hearts, I want to stick around a little longer and shoot the breeze with you. But I was actually on a really urgent mission, and I've already put off getting back to it as soon as long as I dare, so I gotta skedaddle. Anyway, catch you around, bud. Eat, sleep, and make merry enough for the both of us. Oh, and maybe try to take it easy every now and then, okay? I love Merlin. He's nice. Who doesn't like Merlin? Everybody. The sound of snow crunching beneath hurried footfalls quickly fades away. I go so fast between liking him and disliking him. Like when he was bullying young Tarlok, I was so upset. Lush lets out a heavy sigh as he stares at the place where Merlin disappeared. On occasion, I do happen upon abnormally energetic people lost in the mountains. On the whole, that's better than finding someone who's depressed, and being around people like that just wears me down so quickly. I feel like I'm ready to call it a day after 15 minutes. Okay, so he's an introverted guy. I don't blame him. I am too. Speaking with him, or rather listening to him, go on without much chance to get a word in, felt just like that. It's not something one really grows accustomed to, but he seems to believe it will be safe around here now. At the very least, we shouldn't have any phantasmal stags leaping out from the fissure to charge us unawares. The unnaturally cold winter weather has. What? I'm sorry, my English is just like bad now. The unnaturally cold weather ought to begin subsiding as well. After all this happened, I want to say thank you for helping me throughout this ordeal. I just wish there was more I could have done for you. I know I have at times been rude, my shortcomings on full display. I'm grateful you chose to stick with me in spite of it all. I want to squish his face. He's very cute. In my mind, I keep coming back to that agreement we made. My intent was that I would aid you with your needs first, then have you help me after. But the way things went, it turned out the exact opposite of what I planned. And I can't help but feel that it's due to my lack of ability on my part. I never forget how much you've done for me. If you ever needed my help, I'm at your service, no matter how many years may pass. You have but to ask, and I'll answer the call without hesitation. Now I'm going to take a look around and see if all that should be here is here, and ensure nothing that ought not be here lingers still. Thanks to the circumstances, I've been unable to go about my normal mountain keeping duties, and I feel the need to settle into my old rhythm again. At any rate, I'll see you next time you're in the mountains, whenever that may be. Matters here have been wrapped up, at least for the moment. Return to Arcana Association in Wrath Royal Castle and show Laurire the burning cold flame. Yeah, that was a doozy. We did a lot. And we're not even done yet, you guys. We just gotta visit Laurire, right? There's nothing I gotta. Yeah. Okay. So actually, I don't need to go follow this arrow because we can just use the teleport feature. I'm so glad they added this in. It really needed to be here. Welcome. Any updates on your investigation? You have my thanks for your tireless work. I was beginning to worry since I hadn't heard back from you in a while. Normally, word of your adventures get back to me while you're out and about, even if I'm not actively asking around. I guess you're just that much of a headline maker. That's why I was surprised when I heard nothing about where you've been or what you've been up to. Perhaps even your popularity has its limits. Bro, nah. Anyway, back to my research I go. Or was there something else you wanted to tell me? The culprit behind the deer incident, the land beyond that, what you discovered in Glenburna. I'm gonna just say this. You tell him what happened so far, as you speak animatedly about how the incident with the strange deer led to the learning more about Kaliak, venturing beyond Shi to Salamis, and the new type of smoldering thread you found in Glenburna. He finds just enough of a gap to finally interject. Do I still have it? Am I looking at it? That's the cold burning flame, okay. I just wanted to look at it. Wait. I'm going to need you to back up a bit there. It sounds like you've gone through a lot, enough to constitute several separate reports. Even he he grabs a sheet of paper and a quill pen from his desk. You must be exhausted. Here, I'll write it all down for you as you tell it to me. I need to format this to a template I can use for multiple submissions anyway, so that works out. All right, my pen. Did he always have a piece of paper in him? I think he did. I'm just like looking at him now. All right, my pen is at the ready. Go on and tell me what you experienced, starting from the beginning. Kaliak, salam miss, the new type of bread, spare no detail. Kaliak, salam miss, a new type of arcana bread. I feel like what we really were interested in here was the new kind of arcana bread. Like, I was, of course, interested in Kaliak and salam miss, but he specifically wanted us to find a new bread, a new type of arcana bread. You hand the cold burning flame to Laurire. You give the new type of bread to him. What is this word? They cannot just throw in whole new words I've never seen in my life before. Excelsior? Why didn't he just say excellent or something? Hold on, let me check. Excelsior? Like, what on earth? Used in the names of hotels, newspaper, and other products to indicate superior quality. Excelsior. Excelsior. That does sound bad. Fancy. Excelsior. This is it. Carefully examines the icy bread from every angle. It appears to burn, yet its aura is entirely cold. It's exactly as I imagined it would be. Even when I was first describing it to you, I didn't think you'd discover the exact substance I had hypothesized as readily as you did with that strange flint before. How did you stumble upon these otherworldly materials? Perhaps I ought to tell you about my half-formed conjectures more often, not less. I can't say where this new type of bread may appear in the future, but given its origins, I'm beginning to think that it might only be able to coalesce in places where two conflicting elements coexist that might be physical or even metaphorical, like the way you described Kaliak extending her endless winter by burning firewood that embodies the passage of time. It's a tricky set of conditions to meet, but it does reduce the scope of significantly, making for fewer potential places we have to search. At least I know where to focus my investigation efforts. I know I can't just keep asking you for one favor after another when we have plenty of other matters to attend to. This will be next on my agenda once I wrap up the association surveys on the illustration. First, let's see if we can make use of this new thread. You certainly had a strange adventure to think. It all began as a research expedition to look out for a new type of smoldering thread. Laurier pulls out a small arcana flame from one of his desk drawers and holds the icy bread up to it. How do you have those? They expire. You feel a slight drop in the room's ambient temperature. With a frosty puff, the thread shrivels up the arcana flame, melting away into nothingness. These new breads, frost flame breads, let's call them, possess properties similar to the smoldering threads we've been using. Worry not, the simple test has put my biggest fear to rest. The unstable nature we just observed is precisely what will make them easy to work into more enduring form, and more importantly, they won't offer any resistance to reinforcing or expanding crests that have already been augmented. On top of that, it appears that these new threads too are drawn to you like cat hair to a piece of clean trousers, just like smoldering threads are. My guess is that you'll be able to make use of them right away. I love how all of the NPCs are talking about cats. It makes me happy. Hello, is enjoying the new Arcana story stuff. I see. I am. I'm almost at Glenburna, so I was in there for a while, just for the quest, and I think soon I'll be able to actually enter. But I am scared because I was gonna die in there. Because I went in early with Mikey, and then I was gonna die on the first room with the little kid. I need to see that kid's face. I'm really quite fascinated. You notice how the temperature in here dropped a bit when I exposed the thread to the Arcana flame, right? The properties of the frost flame thread are fully in line with what I had speculated. That said, Lauria gazes into the small green flame gently swaying before him. These threads alone won't be enough to further the Arcana link. Their ice elemental properties, obvious even to the layman, would surely be of use in both stabilizing and reinforcing already developed Arcana craft. However, their coldness, for lack of a better term, seems to exert a stronger force than I thought it would. You saw the interjections between the thread and the Arcana flame. At the level of potency, I'm concerned that the ethereal flame at the heart of the frost flame thread might dissipate when we try to process it. But you can't use it? Oh, that's not the case. We already know a material tied to the flame, don't we? Respond with the material Laodide is referring to. What? I don't know. What kind of fabric are we looking? It's okay. My first run, I died on the first room too. Aww. We already know the material tied to the flame, don't we? What is the material tied to the flame? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, how am I supposed to remember that? Is what flint? Oh no no no. Firewood. Firewood. I'm gonna say firewood. It doesn't seem like that's the correct answer. Well, dang. You remember the fire looks like a piece of tangled string, but glows of what? Some sort of thread? Frost flame? Smoldering? Correct. We've been using. Oh, that's what you were asking, bro. You had me type that out. Correct. We've been using smoldering threads for Arcana advancement thus far. The frost flame threads appear as though they'll have a stabilizing effect on their Arcana crests. But the problem is that dampening effect that they appear to have on different types of energy related to their ice aspected nature, no doubt. That's why I believe integrating them alongside smoldering thread is the answer to our problem. The idea is to look at each arcana and identify the points subject to the greatest stresses when powered is channeled through the crest. Those are the places we'll bolster with the frost flame threads, after which we can apply smoldering threads to ensure a consistent throughput of energy. That should let us build the arcana into even more intricate designs. I cannot imagine whoever translated this. Like, they must have been struggling. Because this is a lot of, like, fantasy terms. Like, it's a lot of fantasy. And it's a lot of complicated fantasy science. Can you imagine, like, being there to not only translate Korean to English, but then to make it make sense? In a way? Um, they should let us build Arcana in even more intricate designs. You know, that explanation came out sounding rather convoluted, even to me. Thank you. Perhaps it would be easier to understand if I related it to the practice of enchanting. You applied enchantments to equipment before, right? If you try doing it with the enchant scroll alone, the rate of success is low, and the scroll itself may crumble if the process fails. That's why I started practice these days is to use magic powder as a binding medium when using enchant scrolls. It makes the enchantment more likely to stick to the equipment, and even a failure will only reduce. Oh shoot, I skipped too much. In summary, smoldering threads will be able to get the Arcana quest to stage 5, but unlocking its potential beyond that will require both smoldering and frost flame threads. Is there anything else you're curious about, man? No, can we just skip to enhance the Arcana from the start, having to reinforce it twice? If we use frost flame thread, that is funny. Can we just skip? What? I'm gonna say no. I do not have the energy to talk about this. Well, if you say so. Now, one moment, please. Information unrecorded tends to dissolve with the passage of time. Much like smoldering threads, we'll surely be seeing more of. I need to get this all properly written down and added to the Arcana Association body of research. Laurier's quill springs into action as he records all the information that is currently known about this new type of arcana bread. I think I've made the notes of everything you mentioned. Now, what else can you tell me about? Oh my gosh, that was just one portion? I don't know if I have it in me to read more of this. But Kalyak, you tell him about that. Okay, you tell Lauride about Kalyak, the one behind the events beyond the strange year. From what it seems like long ago, you relate to Lauride Merlin's speculations about what happened and why, as well as the things Lush experienced. You also describe Kalyak's appearance and what you've heard her say and seen her do. So this Kalyak was the one who sent out those monstrous deer. That's certainly different from being spoken of the legend and existing accounts. I'd agree with your assessment that this is likely not the same entity. Here's what I don't understand. If they're different entities, what would be the reason the new Kalyak have to mimic the old, to claim the identity but then distort it? Moreover, I don't get why a being this powerful would display the power of such a blatant manner. It's as though she was acting to imprint her existence upon our minds. I can't really speak as to what her exact objectives might have been, but if her goal was to leave behind lingering misconceptions about the real Kalyak's true nature, I think she actually achieved that to some extent. And all that is in spite of the fact, thanks to your associate's help, she's unlikely to be able to leave the fissure. I think Her Majesty would appreciate a robust report on this topic. He jots down the information you told him about Kalyak, making small annotations here and there in the margins. I think I've made notes of everything you mentioned. Now, what else can you tell me about Salamis? You tell him about your journey to Salamis, which lies in the north of the Morn Mountains. Recalling what Lush told you, you relate to Lauride that Salamis was once a deep labyrinth forest, but that numerous strange and paranormal phenomena have changed the landscape over time to what it is today. Salamis, I consider myself decently educated in geography, but I've never heard of that region. So that's what lies beyond the Morn Range. Laurida's quill pauses for a moment. You can almost see the wheels in his head turning. This may require a multidisciplinary approach. I'd like to request the aid of several of the societies and associations, leveraging their collective expertise. After all, it's easier to plan a response with access to more information. Ideally, we want to know what's been going on in the area and whether anything more is likely to happen. I'll begin more thorough preparations after I deliver my initial report to Her Majesty. The question is, how to prepare. Now I've got it in my mind that it might not be a bad idea to hire that mountain keeper as a sort of expedition guide. What do you think about him? The mountain keepers, I mean. He was looking to make a deal, describe his reputation, and take Connell. I don't remember if he was looking for a deal actually, so I'm gonna describe his reputation in Tir You tell him about how the residents of Tir regard Lush. As you conclude, you circle back to the idea that he is a bit eccentric, but that he has many admirable qualities not often seen in young men these days. And you're telling me the people of Tir said all of this? That goes beyond being generous. It's tantamount to a ringing endorsement. Folks from the countryside tend to give their unvarnished opinion, whether good or bad. If they think that well of him, I have little reason to be concerned. Exercising the usual caution should be plenty, if at all possible. I'd like to have his support. Being able to call upon someone who knows these mountains like the back of his hand would be incredible boon to us in our ongoing investigation. It reminds me of that one scene in I Love I Robot, I think it's called, where he's like, I know this place like the back of my hand. Oh, that's new. Looking at his hand. It's kind of funny. Being able to call on someone who knows those mountains like the back. Okay, I read that. I fear it would be all too easy for those with field experience to lose their way amid heavy snow or in inclement weather. Besides, as a local, I'm sure he'd be aware of any unusual happenings in the area. This seems like a matter that should be brought to Synod's attention as well. Lauria takes a few more notes, adding to his transcription of your report on Talab Miss. The one behind the incident involving the monstrous deer, the lay of the land north of she, and the discovery you made in Glenburna. I've got it all organized. Thank you. However, there is one more thing I'd like to request. I know Her Majesty is eager to see this report. But while I'm compiling everything I need to present her, I was hoping I could ask you to deliver this first set of copies to Synad. Oh, be sure to tell her about the Mountain Keeper. You worked with him, so I think you'll be able to describe his talents better than I. Just try to optimize our workflow here. The sooner we hand off these reports, the sooner we can get back to studying Arcana. Anyway, I'm counting on you, okay? Nodding your assent, you accept Laurita's letter and attached reports. Thank you. Now to start transcribing another set for the Queen. Imagine having to write reports, like literally write them, instead of like typing them and then carbon copying people. Okay, so now we need to go to Synad. Honestly, I don't know how much I got it in me to read more of this. And she's not my favorite person. Synad? Synad? I don't know how to say her name. Synad? Ah, what do you have for me? Hand over the letter. You hand Laurita's letter along with the attached reports. A field expedition report from the Arcana Association? She skims over the report and looks up at you. It hasn't been all that long since the Arcana Association was established. Seeing them this active already shows a lot of growth in a short time, which bodes well for their prospects. I hope they continue at this pace. A string of noteworthy accomplishments will do much to mollify those who question the Queen's judgment in founding a new association. Hold on just 1 second. I'm going to take a bite out of this soup because I need a hydration and I don't actually have any water with me. So this soup will be enough. I bought myself soup for Valentine's Day. No! I spilled it. That's tragedy. Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco would not write about that. You get it? Because one of his songs was named I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. I hope they continue at this pace. A string of noteworthy accomplishments will do much. Okay, yeah. As the association's official patron, I think Queen Erowyn will be quite satisfied when she reads these reports. At any rate, now I have some idea of what to expect when I read through the reports in greater detail. Is there anything else I ought to be aware of? The name of the Mountain Keeper is... No! No! They're not asking me to spell Lush's name. I can't pronounce it. So it's definitely Lush. Hold on. I'm gonna have to just Google it. Because I cannot pronounce his name. Although I remember it. It's Lush and it's like Loshnie something. It's like low. I'll find it. Like I know how to like search it, but geez, the fact that they expect me to spell that is wild. Just like Merlin said, I'm glad I don't have to spell that. If I just search Fantasia of Endless Winter, it should pop up. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I look up, I'll see his face. Loshni. How did we agree that this was pronounced? I don't even remember. Laudia wanted you to pass along the information about the Mountain Keeper, whose aid could prove invaluable in the ongoing investigation. You tell Synad all about Lush, the Mountain Keeper of Miss. Why is his name got a C? That's what I'm saying. I can't even pronounce it. Is that so? She closes her eyes, organizing her thoughts. Silence settles upon the room like a heavy blanket. You could swear you hear the sound of candles burning. Only after a few minutes does she open her eyes, speaking now in a more authoritative tone of voice. It has not yet been determined whether the kingdom will dispatch an investigation team. Even if a decision is made, I cannot say whether or not it will be an official expedition. Nevertheless, as this matter involves persons and organizations backed by the kingdom, I'll need to establish some background on the individual first. Ah! Thank you, Peru. Yeah. What would you say? Ah, thank you so much for the bonk. First, what would you say this mountain keeper could offer to the investigation team? He makes great mobiles. Imagine if I said that. The only mountain keeper, and so that miss. Great at carrying heavy load. Great. I'll say the only mountain keeper, and because I feel like these are just ridiculous answers. Well, this is not a ridiculous answer. This one is. Irish. It says Lushna. I don't know. I call that man Lush. The only mountain keeper can be a treacherous place, especially for those familiar with such environs. To retain his services as a guide would be surely of great help to any investigation effort in the region. That said, the fact is that he is the only mountain keeper of whom we are aware is not, in and of itself, sufficient reason to hire him. After all, I cannot simply presume him to be skilled at his vocation. It may prove more beneficial in the long term to find another individual possessing similar talents who we know we can trust and have them familiarize themselves with the terrain. So the question becomes, is there a compelling reason to employ him? This specific mountain keeper, he has a good sense of direction. He knows the lay of the land. He's an excellent guide. He knows the lay of the land. Well, she just said that. So these are not the right answer. It's this one. It has to be. And hello, Blood Miss Hunter. And hello, Yoshi. You already. So I'm gonna eat more of my soup as part of this hydrate because there is liquid in here. It was very good. Thank you. So the question then becomes, is it compelling reason to employ this specific... Okay, he's an excellent guide. A guide? I would hope our team would never find itself in this position, but if a member of the investigation team goes missing, we could ask the mountain keeper for help finding them. Anything else? He has a good sense of direction. He knows the lay of the land. His sense of direction must be really something if you're advocating for it to that extent. I'm sure his expertise would be in use in assessing any risk travel in the region presents or to point out changes in the terrain. I see. I'll take what you've told me into consideration. Judging by the fact that you're delivering these reports to me rather than the head of the Arcana Association, I assume he's presented his copies to Her Majesty personally? If so, then... She glances out the window for a moment. I'm sure he's already met with the Queen. However, I just thought of something that would be most easily handled by you, and I'd wager Her Majesty will come to the same conclusion. I think Erwin will also consider you the most able candidate. If you would be willing, of course. Some matter you could handle more easily than any of all the alternatives. She loves to keep you guessing sometimes, but you should visit Queen Erwin, as she has suggested. Hello, Hunter. Hunter. I'll never forget how my coworker just really hated when I said Hunter X Hunter. She was like, "You don't pronounce the X," and I was like, "Well, why is it there then?" Just kidding. I know why it's there, but still, I found it kind of funny. So I have to go to the Great Hall. Wait, what? Where's the quest? Oh, where is she? In the throne room. Okay, is that downstairs? No, it's right here. Why isn't it glowing then? Excellent timing. It was just a while since we last spoke. I actually just finished reading through Lauride's reports. While it's no doubt another standout entry on the long list of accomplishments, I was quite excited that it will also prove to be such a grand first outing of the Arcana Association. So the further I read his report, the more I began to worry about everything he went through. Oh, he told me he told me that you'd be delivering a report to her so I could explain a few things in person. But to think she'd send you along to me. Sometimes I think that woman knows my own thoughts better than I do. Knowing you're well puts my heart at ease. She looks towards you purposefully, her gaze clouded. She lowers her voice as if to draw you in a bit closer. Happy Valentine's Day, Hunter, by the way. I hate to bring it up at a time like this, but after reading over the report, I had a question, a favor to ask. It's nothing to rack your brain over. More that you're the only one who could actually know. First, the question. The druid in the report. Is he the one I met before? Yes, it was Merlin. I see. Considering his skill and knowledge, I suppose it's safe to take him at his word. I'll work with her to expound on that part of the report, which will hopefully give it enough credibility to convince the members of our investigative team of their safety. Now, about the favor I wish to request. I tried to ensure that I found the right person for every task still to be done, but I couldn't find one better suited to these two. First, I'd like you to deliver a letter to Chief Duncan of Tyrconnell. You couldn't find anyone suited to send a letter? I was thinking you would, give us something cool. The investigation team is being sent out on an unofficial dispatch, and as such, it may be inadvisable to send a messenger of any official in service to the crown. I want Chief Duncan to be receptive of my words, and I think I'll have the very best chance of that if you place my letter in his hands yourself. Say you understand. You accept the letter as Erwin places it in your outstretched hand. As for the other favor, that's a part of me doesn't want to ask, especially after you just returned, but I'd like you to head back to Salam Miss, basically just to check in on the state of things in the wake of your adventure. Several other royal societies and associations have expressed interest in sending one of their members on this excursion, but that support is contingent upon knowing that you have personally inspected the site and given it the all clear. Thank you, and be well. Oh, and I really appreciate everything you've done. And conversation. She's really grown a lot, Queen Erwin. Like before, she was really horrible to deal with. Really. Like she would just not care about her safety at all. Like it was bad when we first met the queen. I don't remember what generation that was, but man, she was really bad and I did not like her. She took advantage of us and then made us look bad. I realized I have the wrong title. That might have been part of the reason why I did so terribly. I didn't have the Star of Dawn and the 14th anniversary Fantasia, which is oddly better than the 15th anniversary, which is kind of weird. I forgot why I was going all the way over here. Okay, I should have only 2 things left, and then we're done with the Fantasia of Endless Winter. So bring the letter to Duncan in Tyrconnell. I love a world apart, daybreak. We built love in the sacred ground. Waiting for school to stream to tell him about my killer adventure. Hey, what's going on? What kind of adventures did you have? He's on a corgi. Wait, is that? Oh my gosh, that's really good. That's a really good outfit. Like, that's a really good cosplay. What's her name? I forgot. Yeah, Saber. Saber. Duncan. An elderly. Let me put my star away. An elderly man watches. Okay, no. Ah, you've returned. Did you find what you sought? Tell him what you found. Good, good. I was feeling a bit put out that I wasn't able to help you before. After you went to find the Mountain Keeper, I didn't hear anything more about what you were up to, so I figured things must have gone well. Ah, if only my optimism hit the mark more often. When the weather suddenly eased up, I had a hunch that you might have had a hand in it, and that when I realized that you've likely gotten yourself mixed up in something larger than I realized, it's good to see you back, and none the worse for wear from the looks of things. So here you are again, the DVD Killer Adventures. I actually saw Lights Out for the first time the other day. Thank you. I'm not the only one who pointed out the 14th second title. Yes, I like the 14th. The 15th was ridiculous. I don't know why the 15th was more ridiculous than the 14th, considering how 15 is a bigger year in general. So here you are again, back to old Duncan's doorstep. I presume that means you have something you want to ask me, right? When I saw you coming, I braced myself, wondering what you'd ask about today. So don't keep me in suspense. Hand over the letter. That's quite the fancy seal on this envelope. It reminds me of another letter I received once, from the pen of Aliak, monarch. Duncan begins reading the letter, his bony fingertips tracing beneath each line as he goes. I see. So this is about Kalyak. I believe I mentioned this before, But in case you needed to refresh your memory, Kariake, oh no, I'm not going to read all that again. She's not a deity of particular significance in history or legends. None worship her that I know, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if most these days had never heard of her. Among the many gods known in this land, she is one closely intertwined with the natural world and the flow of life. From all that I have heard of her, I don't believe she would act in such a way as to intentionally harm anyone or aid them. Had I not heard of your first-hand account, I would find it difficult to accept what I'm reading here. Though it seems unlikely this entity could have ever escaped the fissure, I should warn the villagers to stay out of the mountains for a while all the same. But it looks like Trevor will have his work cut out for him. Duncan gives you a knowing smile. Ah, listen to me rambling while you stand here obliging. Don't worry. I'll be I'll be sure to send a swift reply to the letter you delivered. And no need to wait around. I'll send the response off myself. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you. Hopefully the next time we talk I'll have something positive for you on that front. Until then, don't worry about it too much. Thank you for seeing it all the way here personally. Duncan lets you depart as he turns his attention back to the letter. The last remaining duty on your to-do list is to investigate the area around the entrance of Glen Burna, where a team will likely be able to be dispatched to conduct an investigation. Go to Salam Miss and finish investigating the site. So yeah, Hunter, I saw Lights Out mode for the first time a few days ago. Might have been last week. And then that was wild. Like really. I was literally scared. Cause you would not know. There was no music playing, there was no it would literally just be the red stain and then bam. The red stain was the only clue we had. And man, that was terrifying. So I guess like I remember seeing like somebody really upset that the idea of a killer doesn't scare people anymore and that killers should be scary. So I feel like they should be really happy about this update because I am scared, especially with people like Legion who were kind of who were kind of a joke. Who were kind of a joke. Thankfully they buffed him and he's not as much of a joke as he was. But especially with Lights Out mode, it is sad. And also with 14th Fantasia, it's actually a really good title. I don't know what else you would put there other than like maybe no, there's nothing better than 14th Fantasia, I feel. What do they want us to do? Investigate the environs around Glen Burna. I like how it looks different on the map too. And when they say investigate, they mean really tuck to lush. Oh, his okay. His pale green eyes widen in slightly in surprise. Your friend was right. Access to many places in these mountains is still blocked by the barriers. I stepped from Salam Mist trying to figure out what to do, and before I knew it, I found myself back here. Appa ran into the woods before I could even do anything to stop him. He always said he was such a good boy, but this dog seems like he does just what he wants. So what brings you out to my neck of the woods to talk about the investigation team? You tell him that you've been making a brief survey of the area before investigation team is dispatched. You also ask if he'd be interested in joining the team. Does that mean the investigation here will be ongoing? Will you be taking part as well? If so, would you be willing to give me any firewood you happen to come across in Glen Berna? I wouldn't ask any pay for assisting the team, knowing that you're a central part of the investigation is enough for me. All I request is a firewood. For all. Any piece could be the soul of one of my fellow mountain keepers. Oh, stop crying. Legion is not very scary at all. Well, he's much scarier in Lights Out mode. And finds killers very scary most times. You just have to look at the design. No, I think most killers are actually cute. I actually like a lot of the designs, like Sadako, sweetheart. Um, Knight, sweetheart. Hag, queen. Any pieces could be the souls of one of my lost mountain keepers. After a short pause, Lush continues, his voice slightly subdued. Given recent events, I had sought to discourage anyone from passing through the mountains, but I think it's fair to make an exception in this case. I'll join the investigation team, and not just to find more pieces of firewood. I think doing so falls within my duties as a mountain keeper. Oh, and before I forget, there's something I wanted to give you. Nothing too special, mind, but Lush reaches into his leather satchel at his waist and draws something from it. He's very pretty. It's one of my mobiles, the one I was working on when we first met, in fact. You receive a winter. Oh, Pathetical is so fun now. Really? I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it. Where's my mobile? Give it to me. It's been waffling around over. I've been waffling around over whether to give it to you for a while now, but knowing you'll be coming here to continue the investigation, clinch my decision. You see, this mobile has the power to transport its owner to the place where it was made. Hey, hey. So that's good. So it's like the clock, for example, like the compass and stuff. So I need to make a small little fix. That's perfect. Please tell me it's 4 squares. Please tell me. Let it be 4 squares. When I was when I was learning to make mobiles, I was told that the materials used when strung together in certain orders and combinations grant them magical properties. That's just the oral tradition among us fountain keepers, mind you. I'm afraid I don't have a more technical explanation for how it actually works. I did, however, ensure that it does what it's supposed to do. Of course, should you need to make room in your bag, you can always leave it with me for safekeeping. I'll make my way down to the trailhead and guide the team to Salamis. May the cold wind of the mountain be ever at your back. The light of Palala shine warm upon your face. Safe travels. Lush gives you a curt bow, heading towards the path. There are still many questions that want for answers, from the sudden appearance of Glenburna to the barrier surrounding Salamis. However, at the very least, the curtain appears to have closed on the tale of Kaliak and her unnatural winter. Hey, we finished! Now we have full access to Glenburna. But yes, it's very. I think most unlicensed killers are well designed and scary. But yes, it's very close to how she was on release. Nice. Okay. And then now I believe this is the end of our stream. I'm going to go ahead and rate out. And it's between Origin's Fury and Paragonant. I'm actually leaning towards Origin's Fury just because I haven't seen, like, I've seen them live, but I haven't rated to them in a hot minute. And they are, in fact, playing Mabby. So I'm leaning towards rating to Origins. And they just started, so what a sweet surprise that would be. So let's go to raid. Oop, I was typing in his chat raid. Overall, it's a nerf, but I think she should stay like this. I agree. Oh, I'm goofy. I typed my name. So I was like, /raid Rebecca, but that does not make sense. So let me raid Origins Fury. So yes, I hope all of you are mature, because Origins Fury is for mature audiences. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night or morning. Bye now. Love you guys. And enjoy any games that you have in DVD. Bye.